Hello, I'm Bob Dickinson. I'm the chairman of Quartz Mountain Resources, and I'm here today in the Quartz Mountain boardroom to give a little bit of a in-person update of the news release that went out recently. And that news release was a Phase 3 progress report of our Phase 3 drilling at the Prodigy Discovery on our Maestro property. And I'm going to use a prop here. This is a airborne magnetic survey that shows the Prodigy target very, very clearly. And so we've talked about this previously, but let me just step back so we're all on the same page here. This is the Prodigy target on the Maestro property. The Maestro property itself is very much larger than this. For example, about 1 kilometer to the south of the Prodigy target is the Lone Pine moly deposit, very large molybdenum deposit. Not too much of interest, particularly in the Lone Pine, even though it's a huge moly resource. But what we're interested in is that moly deposit, that generation of mineralization that came into the Lone Pine down here, has generated a different type of deposit outboard of the Lone Pine deposit. And outboard, they're what are called epithermal precious metal deposits, gold, silver, precious metal deposits. And this target, the Prodigy target, was developed. Initially, we did many different types of surveys, soil geochemistry, airborne magnetics, other types of geophysics. But the target was really developed by the airborne magnetic survey, which this is a plan view of the one target area. Remember, there's many targets throughout the whole Maestro property, but this stuck out very clearly to us. And this map is showing the red is highly magnetic, and the greens and the blues is very low magnetic. In fact, the blue is non-magnetic. And what's happened here is hydrothermal fluids have come up with gold and silver and other metals, molybdenum, copper, and that hydrothermal fluid eradicated the magnetite that was in this area. So it's non-magnetic. Blue is zero magnetics, green is starting to get some magnetics, and then red, it's a magnetic high, magnetic low, magnetic high. So this is a very pronounced anomaly within this overall magnetic high. And that led us here to the Prodigy drill program. So back in April of 2024, we drilled hole 2301 here. It was a good hole, wasn't the home run hole. I financed this hole. The top end was quite decent, but it wasn't the home run hole, but it showed good mineralization up near the top end. So I then moved the drill to 2302. Again, these holes were all announced as Phase 1 in 2024. And that hole was the home run hole. It hit extremely high grade gold and silver over big intervals. Very, very special. So based on that discovery, we now have discovered a mineral zone that needs to be delineated. So we then did a financing, which I think you can remember I contributed substantially. We brought in a strategic partner, the Sutton Group, out of the Middle East. Plus, many other shareholders came and helped us with the financing to undertake Phase 2. Phase 2 was 4 holes. All of the holes were drilled from this area here. These are where the drill was located, here, here, and here. From these setups, the holes on an angle headed out towards the west for quite a distance, 600-700 meters of these holes. All these holes were well mineralized. We announced those results June 2025. And they gave us further reason and momentum and to get on with this, to delineate the Prodigy target. We've announced just where we're at. We haven't got the assay results from Phase 3 yet. We're going to get them likely in the latter part of September, because Phase 3 has been 5 holes completed so far. That's what we've announced, the completion of 5 holes, about 2,700 meters, something in that range. We're going to drill 2 more holes and then bringing the total meterage up to about 3,700 meters. All those holes will be rushed to assay. And again, they'll likely be ready for us the latter part of September. So we've come across from the eastern side of the Prodigy target to these 3 red dots here. And we have been drilling 2507. So this would be the first hole of Phase 3. And then set up here, which we drilled a fan of holes here and here. And then recently we're on this setup and we've now completed these 2 holes. So that's 5 holes, just around 2,700 meters. We're now going to drill a vertical hole from this site and also drill a hole to the southeast right along this rind here. And once we completed that in about the next week, we'll then make sure that all our core samples are sent to the assay lab here in Vancouver, and we'll get those assays done as quick as we can. That's really the progress that we've made. We're moving ahead rapidly and efficiently and effectively. But on top of that, Quartz Mountain has contracted Dr. Farhad Bazari. Dr. Bazari is a very well-known expert on porphyry-type mineralization, and also on the kind of things that we are discovering here, which is called epithermal mineralization, which are linked to the porphyry, in this case, the big Lone Pine Moly deposit. But around these big porphyries are these large-scale and high-grade epithermal gold-silver, bulk-tonnage, and high-grade vein types of potential for deposits. So he is very knowledgeable in that. He's had 20 years of experience, and he is going to site to examine all of this drill core and be able to help us make sure that we have a very effective, very targeted drill program. Not only for the Prodigy, because where we're going to do at least several more phases before year-end of delineation, because there's lots of work to be done here. But I expect Dr. Bazari also to indicate, okay, what's going on here? Where can we find this again around the much larger Maestro property? Dr. Bazari, he is a key member of what's called the Mineral Resource Development Unit at the University of British Columbia. So he has lots of experience, and he will be very helpful in focusing us on not only the Prodigy, but also the many other targets that exist on the Maestro property.